Okay, we're just going to take a look at spreadsheet assignment number 2. Basically, we're trying to replicate this. Now, I've got I should probably give this a name, spreadsheet assignment. I don't know how to spell assignment number 2. And so what we want to do is we kind of want it to look pretty, but we also want to have some data. So you have to decide whether you want to format it first or get the data into the system first. I think it might help if I format it first. So what I'm going to do is I guess this heading is going to be centered between the different columns. So I simply highlight all the columns that I want, and I'm going to join those cells together. So this here is merge cells, and otherwise I think would probably be under tools, or maybe format, merge cells. Okay, so and look at that. I wasn't sure. I looked first under tools, then I looked under format. I don't have this stuff memorized. You got to try to think about where would they kind of place this information. But it also turns out that it's in the toolbar there. So I highlight the cells that I'm interested in, and I can then say merge, and that's merged them all together. Note that if you had text in any other cell other than the first one, that text would be lost. But in this case, it's okay. And I'm going to center it. Because I'm on a laptop, I don't see my entire screen. If I had a big screen on a desktop, I might see all these toolbars. But the little dots here will show me the extra toolbars that I'm missing. So this is my alignment. So I'm going to choose that and choose that to be center aligned. Now what I'm going to do is this entire table, I want to have an outline for it. So I'm going to look at the icon that has looks like a table, and those are the borders. So if I click on that, I can choose a series of different types of tables. So this one means put borders around everything. This would mean put a border at the very bottom. That would mean just put a border on the outside, but I really want it, I think I want it on everything. It's hard to tell that their borders actually exist on that very top row because of the fact that it's the top of the cell. But if I were to say do a print preview, I say print, you can see that it's printing the border. We see that border is present. Okay. Now we can see that the number of packs, it's not quite large enough. So what I'm going to do here is I can go up to the in between the cells, and I can click and drag to various widths. A little trick is that you can, if you double click on the line, it'll actually adjust to the width of the longest amount of data that's in a cell. It'll automatically adjust to that size. So if I double click this right now, it went just a little bit larger. If I double click this one, it might actually go a little bit smaller because items and packs maybe has a little bit more space than it needs. So if I double click this one, you see that it got a little bit smaller, and total items, double click. Oops. I ended up right clicking, double click. So that's a way of automatically adjusting the width of columns, and so I might as well double click this one as well. Oop. The danger with that is because I have some questions down here, it's adjusting it to be the width of that cell, and I don't actually want that, so I'm going to Control Z to undo. Edit, undo. The short form is Control Z, so I use that keyboard. All right, now what I want to do is I want to do my total items. So in this case, the number of packs times the items in my pack. I'm going to enter a formula with the equal sign, and I can simply click. In fact, look at that. It's guessing what I want. It's guessing that I want to have B3 times C3. That's how smart Google Spreadsheet is. That's exactly correct. So I'm going to say enter. Oh, click on. Oh, it's saying if I press the tab button, it'll. It's saying hit the tab button and it'll automatically enter that cell for me. So I'm going to hit the tab button. No. I guess I had to click on it, or maybe because I had clicked someplace else. My sense was that if I had hit tab, that would work. Now the cool thing is I don't have to do this for every single cell. I can come down to the bottom right of the cell. See how when I click there, I've got this little arrow. When I do that, I can click and drag down. And what that's going to do is it copied the formula all the way down. So it then knew that what I wanted for this one is B4, cell column B, cell 4 times column C, row 4. So it automatically has copied that same formula all the way down and calculated all those values. You know how to do the sum from the previous question. You know how to do the sum there. All right. So the great thing about this is that if I change the number of tennis rackets to 3 number of packs, that instantly updates my total items. Now, the old version used to automatically include 3 sheets. That's no longer the case, so I'm going to have to add a sheet. Now, sheet number 2, I've got the data from over here. Sheet number 2 looks something like this. So you'll have to type this in. All right, so in the same vein, I'm going to put the border around everything. I'm going to merge that cell and center the data. And now the quantity of my baseball bats. Check this out. Over here, my baseball bats, I've got a total of 15 items. So what I can do is I don't want to type 15 there. What I'm going to say is I'm going to say it's equal to, and I'm going to come over to my first sheet, and I'm going to click on total items. The formula that's just entered into my sheet 2, if I hit enter, is do I want to autofill? I'll say yes. So what just happened? I said it's equal to, and then I went and clicked on the cell that I was talking about. The computer says, oh, well, that information is over on sheet 1 in cell D3, because on sheet 1 in cell D3 are the total items that I wanted, which is 15. So it automatically adds the 15 there. The other cool thing is we were asked to rename these sheets to be job 1, so I'm going to rename that job 1. And now when I come back and I look at the formula now says job 1 D3, so it knew to change the name of that. The other really cool thing is we can see our tennis rackets, there's 15 of those. But if I change my tennis rackets to 2 packs, there's now 10 items. I come over here and there's 10. So it automatically updates. So everything is dependent upon other things in the shell, which is fabulous. So our total cost, we're going to use the exact same formula that we did on the previous sheet. This cell times that cell. And you can figure out how to do your sums just like we did on the previous assignment. Now I also want to just kind of confirm that we're doing exactly like they've asked us to do. So it looks like my totals are aligned to the left on job number 1. Oops. So job number 1, the totals are there on the left, so that's good. Remember, I need to add my formula here. I need to add my formula there. Totals are aligned on the left there. For job number 2, I'll rename this. Call that job 2. And my totals, I'm going to make that left aligned. I think it's supposed to be totals. Now finally, what it says is format the headings and labels as shown in class. So I guess this is class here. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make those headings pop. I'm going to bold these headings and I'm going to center them. And then my sporting good orders, I'm going to italicize it and bold that as well. And I'll do that in both cases. Sporting goods, bold and italicized, and then these items I'm also going to center and I'm going to bold them. That looks a little tight. I'm going to double click this again. And because I had bolded, it meant that it took a little bit more space, and you can see that these cells now take a little bit more space as well. I'll adjust my quantity, cost per item, total cost. So remember, you need to add the that cell, the formula for this times that. And then finally, the sheet says any cells that have money in them should be formatted with a currency symbol. So if I come back over here, these are my money symbols. These are my cost per item. So if I click on that, I can click on $, and that automatically gets formatted as currency. There are other things under format. I think somewhere I've seen under data. Oh, under number. So there's other options for how we format things, more formats. You can even get more currencies. So you could use, the English pound. Those options exist. It's under format and number. All right. So left to do would be to calculate our total cost with the formula there. Calculate the total down at the bottom. Total quantity of items. Total number of packs. Total number of items there. All right, any questions, just make sure to let me know.